Welcome to Gong Intro Yoga. Today's practice is a Yin Yoga practice. It's important to use cushions, blocks, or blankets to help you get into a comfortable position to hold these stretches without straining. We begin with a 5-minute warm-up of the whole body before entering into our deep Yin stretches. In this Yin Yoga, we will hold the stretches for 2 minutes each, which allows the muscles to lengthen fully and brings a deep sense of relaxation. So when you're ready, let's get started. We're beginning with a gentle twist. Cross-legged position, gently swinging the body around from side to side without reaching too far, as we're just warming up the body. Fluid movement. And transitioning to our next warm-up, we're going to move one of our arms out to the side and gently lean into that arm with the other arm raised to the ceiling. Again, do not overstrain here. We are just warming up the muscles for our Yin practice. Fluid and gentle, side to side. Leaning down on one arm and bringing the other arm over. And again. Just a few more times. And letting the gong transition us onto all fours now. We're going to warm up the back by dipping and arching in our cat-cow. Dipping and arching. Warming up the spine. Dipping and arching. And then lengthen out your arms a little more. We're going to lean back, fold down those legs on top of your heels and then lift up into downward facing dog. Again, don't go fully into the move. Back onto your heels, collapsing down on your knees. And up into downward facing dog and down again, leaning back onto your heels, opening up the whole of the back here. And now coming into a lunge position with your ankle under your knee. We're going to lean back and open up the hamstring, keeping your leg loose, your knee loose, so you don't overstretch here. Warming up our legs. Lunge and hamstring stretch. Lunge and stretching back out. Keep going. Changing over to the other side, lunge, and then stretching back out that leg, hamstring stretch, back into your lunge, lifting your chest, bending your chest down, lifting your chest in the lunge, and stretching out the leg with your chest down. Last time. Stretch out and coming out of that move. We're getting ready now for our Yin practice. Make sure that you have your blocks ready or your cushion. We're starting in a butterfly position with your feet together. And you can use the blocks to support your knees or cushions, and then a cushion in front of you that we can lean down on. And when you think that your back is about as far as it can go without overstretching, you can just rest into the cushion. I've taken the blocks out because my knees can go down further, but feel free to stay in whatever position is more comfortable for you. Remember, we're staying in this for 2 minutes. So no overstretching, just enough, and then relaxing into that position. Feel free to move slightly to adjust the position if needs be. And then breathing. Relaxing out those muscles. Letting go. Breathing. And just a few more seconds. And letting the gong bring us out. Wobble out those legs a little bit. In this position, you can sit on a cushion. We're going to bring one foot in, bending the leg, and again you can rest the knee on a block or not. And we're going to bend forward into a forward bend over that stretched out leg. Use as many cushions or blocks as necessary to get a comfortable enough position that you're stretching just far enough, but not overstretching. We don't want to come into 100% of your full stretching capacity here. Maybe go to 70 or 80% because we're going to hold it for longer than our traditional 30 seconds or 1 minute. Relaxing into the stretch. And just feeling where that stretch is, where there's any tension. No judgment. And just trying to get a sense of letting go. Breathing. And a nice breath out here, breathing out. And letting the gong bring us out. We're going to bend our other leg, again using blocks. You can put a pillow under your knee, the leg that is stretched out, if you find that your knee is overstretching in this position. Again, get whatever props you need to get into a reasonably comfortable position. Stretch to maybe 70% of your capacity. And then drop the head and the chest as far as it will go onto your cushion, onto your leg, if that's where you are. being present for anything that is there. Comfort or discomfort. Readjusting if you need to, and then coming back, relaxing out those muscles. Letting thoughts just flow in and flow out. Deepening. Breathing. Transitioning now. We're just going to start on all fours and then bring one of your legs forward into a lunge, and then just move that foot slightly out to the side and then come up onto the edge of your foot. So we're coming into our hip flexors here, our groin, stretching out our pelvis, and come down onto your forearms if that is possible for you. If not, you can come down onto a cushion on your forearms or stay with straight arms. Get to a position where you feel the stretch, but that you can hold it. And you can wiggle a little bit in this move and then find stillness. You can put a block under your head or a cushion under your head that you can rest on. Again, there's no perfection here. It's finding the place that challenges you enough, but not too much. Getting some deep stretches here. Opening up those muscles. And opening up to whatever is there today. Continue to breathe. And out we come. Up into a very quick downward dog just to balance out there. And then bringing your leg through your other leg into a lunge, but just a little bit further out, pushing that foot out a little bit further, wider stance as such, and the knee leaning in outwards and coming up onto the edge of your foot. And then if this isn't enough for you, on your hands you can stay there. If you can come down onto your forearms or onto a cushion, that's where you can go to. Lean your head onto a block or a cushion. Lovely deep stretch into your hip flexor here. Feeling it in both legs. Accepting whatever is there. Remembering the breath, helping you with the out breath to loosen up just a little bit more. One long breath out. Just there. Transitioning. Quick downward dog again to balance out the hips and pelvis. Before we go into our next yin posture, we're going to bring our foot to a 90-degree angle, our foot or shin, or you can pull it back in a little bit if you don't have that flexibility available in your hips. If you can, bring it out to a 90-degree angle. If not, leave it as we said, with your foot turned in. And the idea here is in a wide pigeon pose or a closed pigeon pose to pull the opposite hip down towards the floor. You can rest a cushion under this hip. Take your time to get settled in this position. Cushion under your arms. And then really dropping in to wherever that is. You could have 2 cushions. You could stay up higher. Remember, 70 or 80% of your capacity here, because we're staying for a long time to really feel into those muscles and loosen out those tense parts of the body. Relaxing in, breathing gently, dropping in as much as you can. Just a little bit more. Well done. Great stretch. Coming to the other side, pigeon pose with your foot more towards the center or pushed out at a 90-degree angle, and then leaning that hip that is nearest the foot towards the ground. It doesn't have to be completely straight onto the ground. It could be slightly up, that's okay, wherever it gets to. And then 1 cushion or 2 cushions, dropping down, resting your weight into the glutes. This stretch goes right across the glute muscle, also gets into the groin and down the back of the leg, and lengthens out the back at the same time. If you need to turn your head on one side or the other, feel free to do this. Although there will be some level of challenge, we want to bring our mind to a place of letting go and inviting relaxation into those muscles. Remembering to breathe, not hold the breath. Transitioning with the gong. We're going to come into kneeling position, but with our knees wider than normal and our feet under our bum. Open up your knees as wide as they feel comfortable to go. And then you can place blocks under those knees, particularly if you have any problems with your knees, so as not to strain them. And then a cushion or 2 cushions under your back. And then fall back onto that cushion. If this is any way too much for your knees, just come out of it and open up your legs. And just stay in an open-legged position, opening up the pelvis, but without bending the knees. Otherwise, if this position is good for you, relax back into it. Even on the cushion with the legs out, straight but wide, you're going to get a lovely opening of the chest. Hands above the head, clasps them over the head if that feels comfortable. And with the bent leg position, we're also opening up the pelvis here. The thigh muscles are stretching out, all the ligaments around the knees. Breathe into those open lungs, wide stretch here across the chest, which gives you space to breathe into. And then just wiggle your way back up. We're now going to come into a squat. So you can put cushions or blocks under your heels if your heels don't come comfortably down onto the ground to support yourself. Another thing you can do is sit back onto your bum if you can't stay in a squat position, just with your knees bent, or come into a full squat position. Now we want to relax into this, so we don't have to think about having a very straight back or being very tall, because we're really going to relax into this and think about dropping our pelvis here. Dropping the weight of the pelvis. Dropping down into the ground. We are earthing ourselves, grounding ourselves. If at any stage you want to sit back onto your bum, feel free to do so. Otherwise, stay in this great squat, which is so good for our whole bodies. And in some parts of the world, they do it quite regularly. But if you're not used to doing it, make sure you get some support under your heels. Breathing. Let's really relax into this. And just the last few seconds, letting go. Moving now back onto all fours to start, and then coming into a lunge position. And then stretching back out of that lunge into a straight leg, or as far as that will go. Keeping your knee a little bit loose because we're going to hold this stretch. So we're leaning down towards our knee. You can use blocks under your hands here if your hands don't go to the floor. And again, because we're in this for a long time, don't straighten out your leg to its full capacity. Maybe you can straighten your leg to maybe a 90% here and no more. 80% is okay too. And then the same with your back. Straightening out the back to a comfortable position and then dropping the head. Lovely long stretch around the hamstring area, also coming into the calf. Loosen out your neck, releasing into this movement. Just a little bit more, letting go. Last breath. And a quick downward dog here, just to transition from one side to the other. Bring your other leg through, starting off just in a lunge position and then pulling back out of that lunge position. Hamstring stretch here, lengthening that leg, loosening out the neck. You're going to be holding this position for a while. Putting your hands on blocks if that helps you, or just putting them on the ground wherever they go to, and then dropping out the back towards the leg. Keep your knee loose. Go to maybe an 80% of your capacity here. This is about giving time to yourself, to your body, to do what it needs to do. To be where it needs to be. Coming back to your breath, just being gentle, but remembering to not hold your breath, to let go and breathe. Last few seconds, feel into it. Quick downward dog, balancing out the pelvis. And now leaning back, bending those legs, child pose with your arms lengthened. So we're stretching out the arms here and into the shoulders. If you feel more comfortable with your arms behind you, feel free to do that. Otherwise, we're just going to sink into the ground here. Feel yourself resting deeply. Let the ground beneath you support you, hold you, and you just let go. Feel free again to change your arm position and put them behind you. And just a little bit more time, dropping down into the ground. Great Yin practice. We're now going to go down onto our backs. And we're going to go into our last couple of minutes of deep relaxation. No stretching here, no challenge. Complete acceptance and relaxation. We're going to be here for a full 2 minutes, allowing your joints and muscles and tendons to fit back in, to find their place, and then feel the fluidity in your body that you've created, the space, space to move, space to grow. Relaxing your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs. Relaxing your stomach, your chest, your shoulders, your neck, your head, down into your arms and your hands. Relaxing your face, your whole body. If you need to stay there for more time, feel free to do so. If not, we'll just finish our practice. Off you go to bed if this is a bedtime practice. Otherwise, continue with your day, knowing you have been present for yourself and given yourself this time. Thank you for joining me in Gong Interval Yoga. Please subscribe and like to see more Gong Interval Yoga videos.